hay un pluma en la mesa, mi amor. Una cosa yo puedo usar para mi pelo. Hi, guys. Hello, I'm getting a pen for my hair. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm gonna lose a boob. I'm gonna have to fix this bathing suit very quickly. Every day a vacation. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? My bank account doesn't appreciate that, but my mental health certainly does. Hi, I love and respect you so much. Thank you. I love and respect you too. Sorry, I'm trying to get this pen through my hair. How's the new home? I'm really liking it. There's I forget what it's like. So I always move into these furnished places and then I'm like, oh, it has everything. I don't need anything. But then there's all these things that you do need, like paper towels and toilet paper and garbage bags and cleaning supplies and, little organizers for all of my shit in the bathroom and all those things. But I love it. I love that we have a barbecue and a smoker. That made me very happy. We just barbecued. I love that I have this cute little jacuzzi. It's adorbs. I spent 3 weeks in jail. My mental health loved it, but my pockets were not having it. I know. Votar para o cara que te pegando fuera. No entiendo eso. Yeah, so I'm here. And this is it. And I'm really happy. Really happy. I feel like Johan and I are getting along in a really good way because we're communicating so well. Before when he did things, I was like, man, why the fuck does he do this? And I'm just like, okay, when you do this, it bothers me for this reason. And he's like, okay. And it's so much healthier. So I'm feeling good. Gas is so expensive there, but I refuse to drive in a propane car. I know. He has one propane car and one car that takes gas. Propane cars are supposedly much safer. And they obviously use no gas, but gas is very expensive here, it's true. And electricity is really expensive also. I was in Samanan. It was very windy after 10 o'clock. It's always so windy. In the mountains, yeah. In Samanan. Anytime you're in a rainforest or jungle kind of environment where there's lots of precipitation, you're always going to get all the elements. That's very normal. Your left boob is falling out? I know. I feel it. I don't really know where to put it though, because it's bigger than the other one. I guess, I don't know if this is menopause, where my boobs came from. I guess I gained some weight. I don't know. One thing about me is when I do gain weight, it goes right to my boobs and my butt. But this is a little bit ridiculous. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out later. Are you still updated read Trump news? So I have taken a couple of days off. I'm taking off until the 15th of engaging myself in American politics. I did see the thing about, I'm looking at the state legislation is what I'm really concerned about, because what's happening is, yes, he's doing these executive orders, but the executive orders are distracting people from the shit that's actually a lot more impactful, because the way that you create federal change is not necessarily through federal legislation at the jump. It's through state by state by state. So Tennessee's doing some wild shit. Idaho is doing some wild shit. Utah's doing some wild shit. So these individual states are doing wild shit individually, but it's being overshadowed because the larger audience is national. And so every time there's a national executive order, no. But at the end of the day, the national executive orders are going to be shot down by the judges. But the bills that are being passed in state legislatures are what's actually going to be the long-term problem. And this is why it's so important in these special elections in Florida, people are paying attention. Because if we can flip the House, a lot of this legislation that we're seeing on the federal level will never go anywhere unless it's through executive order, which is going to be shot down because this is a democracy. It's not a dictatorship as much as Donald Trump would like it to be. But the other thing is, if we start to see things happening state by state, even if we do impeach him within the next year, you're going to see the ramifications of this for a decade. So we have to also pay attention to what's happening in the states, even more so, because executive orders we can throw out the window. It scares me that the propane in the back, what, someone hits the trunk or can explode? Yeah, I get it. Well, because I guess in July it wouldn't be that windy. I guess mine goes to my stomach and arms. Yeah. Thank you for the badge. I live in Utah and we have to hunt for the shady shipping done. Yeah, you guys have like a lot of fugitive slave stuff. Yeah. So that's my take on the political stuff. You know, New York, with the congestion pricing in the city, with Adams getting his, the charges dropped, without prejudice, I think, is what happens when they can never be brought back. Like, that's fucking huge. So a Democratic mayor got in bed with the president so we can get these charges dropped against him, and now New York City is going to become what? What, Texas? Yeah, like RFK. I have a feeling there will be some scandal that happens with him within the next 6 months that will, like, all of these appointees can be pushed out if they do something really egregious. What I want to see happen is the president get impeached. That's what I really want. Do you believe the info being put out about Trump is different from state to state? Or is the news changing? Fox News is full of misinformation. So I think what's happening is we no longer have any objective news organizations in the White House. You now only have in the White House conservative news organizations. So by the time shit gets to people, it takes a really long time. The people who are going to be really influential at this point in the revolution, in this particular revolution, are the whistleblowers. The people who are inside the Pentagon, the people who are inside the White House, the people who are watching this shit happen from the inside, the inspectors general, that kind of shit. They're the ones who are going to be really important, and they have to be opening their mouths in order for us to see a shift. Because what we need to see right now is evidence for impeachment. So what I would assume that the Democratic legislators are doing is trying to collect evidence for impeachment. And so I'm just hoping that in the next couple of months we have enough of that. I believe Putin ordered Maduro to ship all those Venezuelans to the U.S. in order to help his buddy Trump win the election. Hi. Yeah, I can't speculate on any of that stuff because I'm not thinking beyond our choices. Like, domestically, I don't know what Putin did, or I can't even begin to think about that. I think Musk won the election. I don't think that Trump actually won. I don't believe it. And I'm not an election denier. I just look at evidence, and what we're seeing happen is evidence of a lot of corruption. My father-in-law lives in Idaho, watches Fox News, and insists I have been manipulated by the news. We watch TV. What's your opinion on the tariffs? I mean, we've always had tariffs. I don't think that anything is going to get cheaper. Johan took mushrooms, so I just want to make sure that he's okay. Because he was a little bit wacky. And then go, give me a second. He is the only person in the world who will take mushrooms just like on a regular day in the middle of the day and be like, I see a lot of colors, and just like go about his day like normal. Like, he just ate a full meal. So I like when he plays. I love it. I do. It's perfect. It's quiet. It seems like my neighbors are going to be cool. I'm excited for my friend to move across the street on Saturday. I'll give you guys a tour probably tomorrow. It's a little bit of a mess right now because I haven't unpacked yet. But I'll give you guys a tour. He is so funny. He is like a very entertaining human, honestly. Don said Gino and Jasmine. Thank you for my badge. I don't really know. What am I missing? What am I missing with Gino and Jasmine? What happened now? We'll be back on Day to Day Fiance? No, I don't think so. Where would you suggest a nice resort in DR? Eden Rock is my fave. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you. How hot is it there? I think it's in the 80s. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with Gino and Jasmine. I know there's back and forth about whether or not he let her go to the grocery store, and he's saying he did let her go to the grocery store, and she's saying he didn't let her go to the grocery store. I think exactly what we're seeing with Gino and Jasmine right now is also what we're seeing with Sophie and Rob. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of wild shit. It's a lot of, lots more show promotion. Do I think all of it is real? I have no idea. I can't really speak to it. Gizmo's okay with the heat. He's run away a couple of times so far because there's no fence. So we had to build like a makeshift fence so we can come out here without being on a leash. But we have to build a fence. Ed Rocks? What's Ed Rocks? I don't know what that means. I'm in Dominican Republic right now. Do you think it's true that Jasmine cheated with her gym friend Matt? I don't think she would do that on the nose. She's been in this game long enough that if she was really fucking this guy, would she bring him on last resort? Would she call him in the middle of the day? I don't know. I'll tell you, if I'm fucking someone outside my marriage, I'm certainly not bringing him on television. Right? I don't know. That wouldn't make sense to me. I love DR. I was there for 1 year and really miss place. Say hi for me. You got it. What do you think will happen in the education system and kids with IEPs and 504 plans? So if what he's saying, this is my question. What it says in Project 2025 is that all of these federal services will be cut and eliminated. However, all of the money that is currently allocated to these services from the federal government will now be allocated to the states. So, for example, if I'm a student in a New York State public school and I have an IEP, and last year in the 2024-2025 school district, my IEP was funded through a federal grant, and this year in the 2025-2026 school district, my IEP is funded through a state grant, it might not make a difference if he actually does what he says. If he's cutting all these federal programs and then taking the money, siphoning it into some other thing that he's interested in, so immigration or going to space or whatever the hell the thing is, then it's where it's a problem. But in Project 2025, it says we're cutting all of this federal money that's going to all these people, and we're giving all that money back to the states as a block grant. That's the exact language that's used, as a block grant. So if normally I would get a Title I grant from the federal government, now that's coming from the state as a school. So that's how I see the difference. I don't know what that means. I think it's taking, basically what it's doing, it's taking all the responsibility for managing things out of the federal government. And the federal government will no longer have all this responsibility. And the states will have all this responsibility. We saw this at a micro level in New York City. When New York City, under Bloomberg, broke up all the huge high schools, like, for example, Brandeis, JFK. These were, enormous high schools with thousands and thousands of kids. Bloomberg broke up all the big schools and created little schools. And basically took the money that paid the big schools, broke it up, and put it to creating all of these small schools. And the idea was that there'd be more centralized control over education in communities. It did a lot of really amazing things and created some schools in New York City that cannot be matched anywhere in the country. Created some really beautiful educational pockets. But what it did was resegregated schools, and people who knew enough to apply to the good schools were able to get in, and people who didn't know enough were not. So what it does is it creates this system where, okay, if I know how to work the system, I can get everything I want in this new world, right? But if I don't know how to work the system, which is poor people, people who are in survival mode, immigrants who don't speak English, everybody who's not even the 1%, but not the top 10% or 15 or 20%, they're always going to be asked out because they don't know enough about the system. For example, when I was going to college, I was graduating high school, I just knew I was poor. And I knew college cost money. And so in my mind, I was like, I can't go to college because I don't have any money, right? No one told me anything about student loans, ever. I never knew that was a thing. Nobody told me anything about block grants. Never knew that was a thing. It was my friend Lucy, when she was going to Dowling, she took me with her, and she's like, you need to talk to my counselor because I feel like you can go to school. And I ended up going to school. Because I was like, oh, I could take out this loan, I could do this, I could go. And my mother was just like, I don't know nothing about nothing, but I just know that I ain't got money for college. And so it's like I had to learn from my friends who had resources to figure out how to do shit. And so if you don't know how to work a system, you're never going to be successful. It doesn't matter where the money's coming from. The federal government, I think, does a better job of finding the people who need help and giving it to them. And depending on New York also does a really good job of that. Other states do not. Florida does not. Florida does a great job of finding business owners and figuring out how to help them, but not a great job of finding poor people and immigrants and figuring out how to help them. So these are all my thoughts about, tariffs and destroying the Department of Education and taking away the power of the federal government and putting the hands back in the states. I think it depends on what state you live in. And so it's going to create this macrocosm of segregation where you're going to see again, like we saw right after the Civil War, all of these people of color moving to places where they're going to be more accepted, and all of these white people moving to places where there's no more people of color. That's what I'm thinking. And that's what people want. Rich white people will tell you, I don't care what they do over there in Amityville or Wyandanch. Let them do what they want to do over there as long as they don't fuck with what I've got over here. And so from a conservative white president's perspective, that might be, let these states do what they want as long as they don't have a lot of power. That's why New York and California is such a problem for Trump, because they have a ton of power. But it's also where all the good educational institutions are. The blue states are the states with the best education. That should tell you something. Musk will be the next president. No, he won't. He can't be. He's South African. You can't be. You can't not be born in the United States to be president. I can't take you seriously sitting there looking like that and picking at your toes. Picking at my toes? How am I picking at my toes? Whatever. My daughter passed away. I know I'm raising 6 grandkids. 4 of them have IEPs, and 1 is homeschooled because he has no immune system. I feel like these kids are screwed education-wise. I have seen kids who are screwed education-wise, and I will say it depends on the state that you live in. I don't want to send kids to school in Florida. It doesn't matter what community I'm in. I don't want to send kids to school in Florida. I will send kids to school in New York. If I decided to have kids and put them in a public school, I would much rather put them in public school in New York. If I stay in Florida, it will be a private school, progressive private school. So, you really have to think about where you live. Some people are like, oh, I can't do this because I live here, so move. People get very stuck in where they live. People can move. I've done it 15,000 times. Hey, girl. Hi. GR is amazing, thank you. Can you share your tattoos? They have special meaning. My tattoos I got all were milestones that I got at different times. Same, I'm in Florida. I have my son in a private online school because no thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no public schools in Florida. Where we're teaching the war of northern aggression. No thanks. When was update? On Florida home? What do you mean? Which update? I think the last 3 days that I was home, because Johan found out on Monday that he was off Thursday and Friday, which meant I had to be on a flight yesterday. So I, like, literally the last 3 days that I was home, I just was not on the internet and was just trying to rush to get everything done. Thank you for being so vocal about all the stupid issues going on in the country. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so happy to see you back with your husband again. I know you were hoping you'd get to go back to DR by V-Day. I know. I didn't think this was going to happen. And, like, the fact that we get to sit here and chill and, like, enjoy Valentine's Day together. We were going to go do Buggies today and do, like, the tour that we're going to offer for people. But I've just been running, and I kind of wanted to chill. Hola, Johan, papi chulo. Sí, mi papi chulo es mirando el televisor. ¿Tú quieres? Dice hola. Mira, Johan, and mushrooms. Johan, dice hola a tu gente.
Hola, mi gente, ¿cómo está?
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? ¿Qué es divertido?
Tú sabes.
Mira tu cara, tú eres hermoso. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Hola, mi gente de Instagram. Soy María.
¿Qué?
Soy María.
¿Qué? ¿Tú estás bien?
Sí.
¿Qué tú miras? Violencia. That's it. ¿Qué? ¿Qué did? Sí. He said, did I tell them that you drugged me? I didn't drug you. Tu pregunta para tus mushrooms. ¿Qué vamos a decir? ¿Te sientes loca? Loco. ¿No? ¿Qué necesita? ¿Quiere un mensaje? Did I miss a tour? No, I didn't do a tour. I'll do one tomorrow. Everything's a mess. I have something packed, so. What did I miss? Oh, I gave him mushrooms. So Johan has been begging me to bring him mushrooms. He loves mushrooms. Loves them. He has done ayahuasca with me, tobacco purge, smoked weed. Like, he's done it all, but mushrooms is his favorite thing. So I kept forgetting. I had these mushrooms that I bought in Vegas for me and this girl, and she ended up going home. And so I forgot that I had them. And so I brought them with me. They were in my supplements. I completely forgot because I had them in a supplement bag. And so I threw all my supplements from my cabinet in my rush in my bag. And so finally, accidentally, I remembered his mushrooms. So as we were cooking dinner, he's like, can I have some mushrooms? I was like, you really want mushrooms right now? Okay. Sure. And now he's watching like a violent movie on mushrooms. Like, this is not how I do mushrooms. This is why he's like, do you want to take them with me? I'm like, no, not when I'm cooking. Like, if I'm doing mushrooms, I'm sitting outside and I'm talking to the trees. Now, I don't have any trees to talk to, so this would not be where I would do mushrooms. But, I don't know. I will never pretend to understand my husband. He looked kind of freaked out. He is. He is. But he prefers this to when we were doing ayahuasca, and it was 8 people sitting in a circle throwing up in buckets and, like, doing weird shit. People shitting their pants and, like, it was like, what the fuck do you have me doing? Yeah, so this is much preferable. I am in Dominican Republic. I would laugh my... we are very entertaining. That is a fucking fact. Very entertaining. Yeah, so now when he leaves, so he is off. He basically got a half day off yesterday. He's off today and tomorrow, and then he has a half day Saturday, and then he goes in Saturday afternoon, and then my friend moves in Saturday across the street. So that's going to be a whole other entertaining situation. She's also very entertaining. Can you see the pool? The pool's really small. And I need to, like, make it pretty, this area. So I feel like I can show you a little piece of it. It's like a jacuzzi. But, like, I forget. Like, I need a lot of things. Like, I'm glad that I have patio furniture. I'm grateful to have a barbecue. But, like, if I'm going to have people here, I need, like, lots of seats and shit. A friend from the States, yeah, so she was my friend in New York. Then a year ago, she sold her hair salon and moved to Bonao. No, not a year ago, in June. Her family's in Bonao, but she didn't like Bonao. We came to Dominicus when I was here, whatever, a month or so ago. And she was like, I think what I need is to live in a better area. So she found the villa across the street. And when I was talking to her, I was like, is there another one? Like, that's a really good price. And so I got the one across the street from her, but mine is furnished. So, like, she has to come here and put all these fucking curtains up, you know, and these ginormous windows, hang TVs, like, do all this crazy shit. And I kind of have all that. I just need to buy some, like, closet organizers and some hangers. But yeah, we're going to have so much fun. Yeah, it's totally big enough. Sexy video, full HD. Yeah, I could shoot lots of content. Like, I could buy a bunch of comforters, like, comforter sets and pillows, and, like, make each room a content room. Like, I could do a lot of cool shit here. So, I'm excited. And I have a lot to do. I have to finish school. So, I have a lot of, like, online work to do. I have to prep for Bali, which I still have a room left. And you can live like me for a week. Or 10 days. I'm sitting in my winter coat as you show all the skin. I know. I guess I'm going to have to buy some bathing suits that fit me. I'm sorry, people are in winter coats. So my flights, both of my flights, I was shivering. From Miami to Atlanta and Atlanta to here. When did I decide to live here? When I came back the last time, it was kind of quick. Like, I've always wanted to live here. Everyone knows that. I don't want to live in the United States anymore. When my grandmother passed in October, I was like, okay, well, I have no reason to be in Florida anymore. Then I was considering Italy, because I fell in love with Italy, and I want to kind of live in San Gimignano in, like, a little villa. So I was thinking that, and then when Johan and I decided to get back together, I was like, all right, I guess I'm going back to DR. Oh, that wasn't my point. Love the bathing suit. Oh, I know. How was Atlanta? Did they treat you good? I just went, it was just a layover. And everybody treated me good because I was in a wheelchair. Was wheeled all over the place. Did not have to walk on my foot. Did not have to carry all of my luggage. They wheeled me around the Miami airport, the Atlanta airport, and the Punta Cana airport, and I was delivered in my husband's arms. Now he is so much better. We're so much better. Like, I think the last trip when we lived together, we learned a lot, and we're living in hell, and I think it solved a lot of our problems. I did smart, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm doing good. But, like, I don't have any of the things I need. I don't have any of my tripods, any of my lighting. So I'm, like, holding my phone up with this Presidente bottle. What does that say? How far is his family? Oh, how far is his family? So I'm in Punta Cana, they're in La Romana. So it's about an hour. I know, I really want to go see them. But he came all the way here. And, like, to go back and come back. It's stupid. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Presidente. That I love very much. It is a beer. It is. How did you fly with mushrooms? They were with my supplements. I had them in like a Nutrafol bag, and I didn't realize. I like forgot. They've been in my drawer for I can't tell how long. They're probably moldy. But now things are working out for the better. Will you do 90 Day again? It's not a matter of whether things are working out for the better. It matters if like I'm right for the show. Like I don't know that there's a show that we're right for. Thank God they didn't see. I know. I don't think anybody would have like noticed. People like have in their minds of what drug smuggling looks and feels like, but it's not what people have in their minds. When people are looking for drugs in airports, they're looking for entire suitcases full of drugs. They're not looking for like a handful of mushroom caps. You have a story, believe me, you do. Oh, I know I do. I know I have a story. I'm fully certain of that. But I can do that story here. A lot of our story is going to go on OF pages. Come on, I see that. Personal usage. What do you do? Yeah. What are your plans while in DR? To work. Like do my schoolwork. Basically, I'm going to do exactly what I did in Florida, except I'm going to just do more of it here. I couldn't find my dad pen. Boyfriend flew to California and found it in his hoodie pocket. I packed it in his carry-on. So, yeah, so you can fly domestic now with marijuana. It's not an issue. The flies from Johan's restaurant are trying to be part of this live. Yeah, flies are a thing. One thing to realize in Dominican Republic, flies are a thing. What else is a thing? Mosquitoes, mice. I don't have mice where, like here in Bayibe, I didn't have mice, but they're a thing. Like, you're in a tropical country. You're going to have animals. Yes, you can fly with weed domestically. Absolutely. No one's looking for it. If you fly from New York to California, you don't have to worry about shit. At all. Nobody's taking you down. Don't want to lose a nipple. It's finally snowing. Oh, I would hate it. One thing I do dislike about the warm weather insects, yeah. It's something you have to get used to. So when I first moved here, so it was like transitional. When I lived on Long Island, I could not take any bugs. If there was an ant in my house, I lost my fucking mind. Then I moved to Brooklyn and it was like, cockroaches, they're your family. You had to learn. Like in the beginning it was hell and then you just learn. Then I moved by eBay and it was like ants, bats flew into my patio. Like I had crazy animals. And then once I lived in Dominican Republic, I no longer battle with like any kind of bugs or rodents or anything. It's just like, yeah, we live in a world that has animals in them. And no, we don't want them to eat with us and like contaminate our food and make us sick. But we do, you know, we don't need to kill everything we see. We've had snow and rain in New York City. Oh, not a vibe. I like snow. I will take snow all day. This Kieran person is really going hard. It's not necessary. That's what OF is for. New rental are going to enjoy the beautiful home you created. Love how the furniture came out so creative. Thank you. Yes, I did finish my Florida home. I'm waiting for the cleaner to call me and tell me when she's going to see it. But yeah, house is ready. All right, this has been fun. I'm going to go watch violent television with my drugged husband. I hope you all have an amazing day. I'm probably just going to disconnect for Valentine's Day because we're going to have a lot of fun. But I'm sending you all lots of love. I will check in. Peace.